Today is Monday, April 20th, 2026, and this is Read Through the Bible.
We're still in the book of Job now, having taken a break over the weekend in the Psalms, Psalm 97, 98.
Right.
And we're going to read today Job 18 and 19.
Right.
So this is like the middle of round 2.
Yeah.
So what happens is after Job's disaster, his friends came, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. They all spoke once. Mm-hmm. And then Eliphaz has spoken in the second round, and now we're going to get Bildad in the second round.
Right. The gist of the first round was to point out Job's troubles and really call him to plead for mercy from God and saying that God will restore you if you would just do that.
Right.
But Job kept saying, no, I'm blameless.
Right.
And then the second round, they're really pointing out like the traits or the plight or the doom of the wicked and basically saying, Job, this sounds a lot like you.
Yeah.
And they're pretty fed up with him.
Yeah, that's what Eliphaz said, like in chapter 15 and verse 20. The wicked man writhes in pain all his days. And that's going to be exactly what Bildad is going to say. Chapter 18, verse 5, the light of the wicked is put out. So he's going to go through and just speak about how the wicked, and he's going to ascend and crescendo to try to just pin Job. I mean, the implication is that this is Job who is the evil man, though he never quite says it.
Right, he doesn't quite have the guts to be that direct.
That's right. Okay, here we go, chapter 18, verse 1.
Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, how long will you hunt for words? Consider, and then we will speak. Why are we counted as cattle? Why are we stupid in your sight?
Okay, so oftentimes when they start talking, they just retort against what was said, and they fight and argue. They're saying, we're counted as cattle. Well, Job did say in chapter 17, verse 10, insulted them, I shall not find a wise man among you. He says, why do you consider us like cattle?
Mm-hmm. Right. So verse 4, you who tear yourself in anger, shall the earth be forsaken for you, or the rock be removed out of its place?
And then here comes the argument, verse 5. Indeed, the light of the wicked is put out, and the flame of his fire does not shine. And basically, Bildad's just going to speak about just the terrors of the wicked and how the light of the wicked is put out and just the result of where the wicked are. Here we go, verse 6. The light is dark in his tent, and the lamp above him is put out. His strong steps are shortened, and his own schemes throw him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walks on its mesh. A trap seizes him by the heel. A snare lays hold of him. A rope is hidden for him in the ground. A trap for him in the path. Terrors frighten him on every side and chase him at his heels. His strength is famished. Sounds like Job. Mm-hmm. And calamity is ready for his stumbling. It consumes the parts of his skin. Sounds like Job struggling with his boils.
Right.
The firstborn of death consumes his limbs. He is torn from the tent in which he trusted. Right? And that's kind of torn from his house, exactly like Job, and is brought to the king of terrors. In his tent dwells that which is none of his. Sulfur is scattered over his habitation. His roots dry up beneath, and his branches wither above. His memory perishes from the earth, and he has no name in the street. He's thrust from light into darkness and driven out of the world. And he has no posterity or progeny among his people, and no survivor where he used to live. I mean, that's exactly describes Job with all of his
children died.
They of the west are appalled at his day, and horror seizes them of east. Surely such are the dwellings of the unrighteous. Such is the place of him who knows not God.
I mean, he doesn't quite say it, but he says, that sounds like you, Job.
Sounds like you're wicked, right? So the first round was about, hey, cry out to God. Maybe he'll have mercy on you. And the second round so far with Eliphaz and Bildad is the wicked have trouble all their days. They're the dwelling of the unrighteous. The light is put out. And that's you, Job. Okay, so a good summary, like verse 5 might be a good summary of that.
Mm-hmm. That's a key.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Maybe verse 21 a little bit. The dwellings of the unrighteous are like this. Okay, and then Job replies in chapter 19.
Okay, chapter 19. Then Job answered and said, how long will you torment me and break me in pieces with words? I think it's interesting. Bildad in chapter 18, verse 2 said, how long will you, Job, hunt for words? Consider and then we will speak. And then Job answers back, how long will you torment me and break me in pieces with words? Verse 3, these 10 times you have cast reproach upon me. Are you not ashamed to wrong me? And even if it be true that I have erred, my error remains with myself. If indeed you magnify yourselves against me and make my disgrace an argument against me, know then that God has put me in the wrong and closed his net about me.
I think that's the picture here. He's just talking about how from every side he's just being surrounded and how God is the one who has surrounded him and cast him down.
Verse 7, behold, I cry out, violence, but I am not answered. I call for help, but there is no justice. He has walled up my way so that I cannot pass, and he has set darkness upon my paths. He has stripped from me my glory and taken the crown from my head.
And let's talk about just what God has done to him just to crush him.
Right, he went from being so wealthy and happy and now is so low.
Feels so abandoned.
Mm-hmm. Verse 10, he breaks me down on every side. And I am gone, and my hope has he pulled up like a tree. He has kindled his wrath against me and counts me as his adversary. His troops come on together. They have cast up their siege ramp against me and encamp around my tent.
Yep. And then in verse 13, he's going to transition. Not only has God walled him up from all around with no escape, but also his people have abandoned him. Verse 13, he has put my brothers far from me, and those who knew me are wholly estranged from me. My relatives have failed me. My close friends have forgotten me. The guests in my house and my maidservants count me as a stranger. I have become a foreigner in their eyes. I call to my servant, but he gives me no answer. I must plead with him with my mouth for mercy. My breath is strange to my wife, and I am a stench to the children of my own mother. Even young children despise me. When I rise, they talk against me. All my intimate friends abhor me, and those whom I loved have turned against me. So he's seen, like in 1 through 12, just God had abandoned him, and now his friends have abandoned him, and his flesh now, 20 and following, is just, his flesh fails him. My bones stick to my skin and to my flesh. I have escaped by the skin of my teeth. Have mercy on me, O you, my friends, for the hand of God has touched me. Why do you, like God, pursue me? Why are you not satisfied with my flesh? Like, why are you making it worse? You remember, Job is suffering. He's in great pain when these things are coming to him.
It's interesting, verse 21, he says, for the hand of God has touched me. And verse 6, he says, know then that God has put me in the wrong.
Yep.
So just kind of starting and ending this section with just basically God has done me wrong.
Yep. And verse 23 is super interesting about the book of Job.
Yeah. Okay, verse 23. Oh, that my words were written, that they were inscribed in a book.
And they are.
He got his wish.
Yep, he became an author.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, that with an iron pen and lead they were engraved in the rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and at the last he will stand upon the earth.
That's a super famous verse in Job.
It seems to come out of nowhere, although it really comes out of the depths of despair.
Yeah.
Is
And
what leads up to that.
Yeah, there's been a big discussion about his hope. In chapter 17, last time Job spoke, it was, where's my hope? Who will see my hope? But this is his hope, that he has a Redeemer who's going to live. And even he kind of seems to maybe allude to the resurrection, perhaps. Verse 26.
Well, right, because verse 26 says, and after my skin has been thus destroyed, yet in my flesh I shall see God.
Yeah.
Verse 27, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. My heart faints within me.
Now he turns to attack his friends.
Okay. If you say, how we will pursue him, and the root of the matter is found in him, Be afraid of the sword, for wrath brings the punishment of the sword, that you may know there is a judgment. He's turning and attacking them in 29.
Yeah, he's saying that it's not me who needs to be afraid, it's
Right.
you all who
be
need
afraid
to be
of the
afraid.
sword.
Yeah, it just has degenerated into this argument of taunts and threats is what's happening here. But it's just because they don't understand the righteousness of Job, and they're just calling him wicked, and he is saying just God has abandoned me, God has crushed me. Not that he's wicked, it's just God has crushed him. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow with the speech of Zophar. Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye.